at their borders and at their shores, much like the Jordanians have done over the past few years, opening their hearts and their homes to our Syrian neighbors. I'm fully aware how much of a challenge this crisis presents to Europe. It is a tremendous challenge, and I would like to just remind everyone of what His Holiness said just a few days ago, when he reminded us that refugees are not just numbers. They're human beings like you and I, except that they have seen unspeakable horror and have experienced unthinkable tragedy and hardship. They risked everything, their families, their possessions, just to make it to safety. And listening to the stories that I heard today and meeting many of the refugees, I think it's impossible to really understand the magnitude of this crisis until you come face to face with it. And it's very difficult for me to decide which story is more harrowing than the other, because each one seems to be an incredible tragedy. These people have gone from suffering to suffering, and the one thing that I keep hearing time and again is that if they had a choice, they would be back in their homes. That this was the last resort, and some of them have held out to the very, very end, after their towns and homes and all their possessions have been destroyed, and then decided to leave. So when I ask them what they want, they always say, we want to go home, we want a peaceful settlement, we want justice, we just want to live in peace. That's something I hear time and time again. So let's all hope and pray that they can get their wishes. This, of course, is an exceptional crisis and requires an exceptional response. It requires a response that is collective and that is value-based. A response that is built on burden sharing, not burden shifting. Because, let's face it, even with the best of intentions, the magnitude of this crisis and the impact of it is much greater than any one country or one region's ability to cope with it. And it cannot be contained. It cannot be contained just to the Middle East or to Europe. And certainly Greece has done its fair share, and it can't be the last stop for these refugees. The responsibility for this crisis cannot be defined by geography. And I believe that we have to bring humanity and compassion back into the narrative. Because at the end of the day, this is a crisis about human beings, not about borders and barriers. It is about human dignity, not about deals. And I know that many of the humanitarian agencies that I have seen have expressed deep concern about the EU-Turkey deal. Many have questioned its morality, whether it's humane, whether it's ethical. And I think the deep concern here is that many of the refugees who will continue out of desperation to seek safety and security will now start to seek more dangerous routes. And already we have seen alternative routes to Europe being expanded. So it's absolutely crucial for us to look for legal alternatives and more safe and effective pathways to Europe and to areas of safety. And it's important to also look for more sustainable, long-term solutions to this crisis. Because at the end of the day, we can't just keep dealing with it as a temporary situation. We all know that refugees spend a long time in refugee camps, and this can't continue. Finally, I would like to call on the international community to support the local and international humanitarian agencies like the IRC and the UNHCR and countless others who are really doing incredible work. We need to commend them for their tireless efforts, but most importantly, we need to support them. Just being here today made me realize just how overstretched and under-resourced they are. They are really doing a global public good. They are shouldering this responsibility on all our behalves. And it is incumbent upon us to do all that we can to support them. And today I had the opportunity to see firsthand the incredible work of the International Rescue Committee and all the work that they have been doing against all odds. They have been able to provide essential support and services to these refugees. They've been able to deliver clean water and sanitation, and have opened the first and to date the only safe space for women near here. So I would like to really commend them on the incredible work that they're doing, and to call on the international community to support this work. It is absolutely essential, especially at a time when refugees have very few options for asylum. These international organizations, the humanitarian organizations, are proving to be the only lifeline for these people. And we can argue about borders and refugees, but it is absolutely crucial that we all agree that we have to do everything that we can to support these humanitarian organizations. So thank you all very much.